In the 4 videos combined, you see the mourning dove feeding. This is the primary behavior observed in all of the video footage taken. One main behavior observed in the combined footage is that when a threat gets close to the mourning doves, they pause from feeding and become hesitant of my actions the rest of the video. When I become close to the doves, I am seen as a threat, and they constantly are pausing every few seconds from eating to look up and observe how close I am getting to them. The first hypothesis is if a mourning dove is alone, then it will look more often while eating to watch for predators compared to when it is with other doves. An article that goes into detail on the habits of mourning doves is the Diamond Dove website, where one particular article discusses how doves perceive threats and their behaviors and reactions to predators. The second hypothesis is if a mourning dove is with birds of their own species as well as other species of bird while feeding, then it will gravitate more towards around birds of its own kind. One article to support this discusses the nesting habits of mourning doves, where they prefer to be around other birds of their own species, which is often why you rarely see them alone. The third hypothesis is if 2 mourning doves perceive a near threat, then they will fly away together at the same time in the same direction. One article discusses the flight patterns of mourning doves and discusses that they migrate and fly and stay together, which also relates to why you don't see mourning doves alone. The last hypothesis is if a mourning dove perceives a threat slowly approaching while feeding, then it will stop every few seconds from feeding to observe the predator or the threat in the area. An article that discusses this is mourning doves nest together and feed together, and in the presence of a predator, when it's apparent, one dove will stop feeding to observe and watch the actions more closely of the predator, while the other doves in the area might continue to feed. One lecture that pertains to what I have observed from collecting videos of the mourning doves, and based on what I've seen through the several times that I've observed them, is the group living and social behavior. In particular, when the mourning doves perceive a threat, one of the doves will stop feeding and look up more often to watch the threat. This shows that mourning doves have a tight social group and look out for one another when one leaves, as they tend to follow.